So before we actually start, something I want to try.
I feel like my microphone.
All right. So okay. So let me give you the Twitch link.
I want to actually go to the live edu channel, and also, can you open up SSH? Oh my God!
You see, like I could hear it. All right. So what are we? Creative network. Where there's open source and creative network lambda. We are here. Tmux new session pairing. All right. So you
You know what?
can.
Live edu is not showing anything. Okay.
Well, I don't know. Like I'm using the same exact setting that I was in yesterday. I did not change anything. Um, I literally changed nothing. Um,
What should the title be? Creative network.
no, just do like uh, live streaming Lambda DevOps. I don't know, like what we're doing, and that people can come and ask any question they want. Um, okay, so
DevOps.
one thing. Um, so you want to verify that we can see actually something on live video?
I'm not seeing anything.
Oh man, I'm like really not built for those technical problems right now.
I know. We can. Well, if I'm not seeing anything on live edu, I need to go to Twitch because I need a way to see your browser.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm literally missing on half the time. I don't know what you're doing.
yeah.
Okay, so Twitch seems to be working. Just Twitch is slow.
Um,
Let's see.
yeah. Like seriously, I literally don't know what the problem is. Um, it's the same settings as yesterday, and still, the stream is not showing up. Um,
All right, just stick with Twitch then.
well, maybe we'll try to reduce the FPS to 10. Let me see. I'm gonna stop streaming for a second.
More viewers.
Um,
I don't know if it's because of the schedule. You see, there are 13 viewers right now. Usually we start with like three. Last night we had three.
yeah, let me just see if we can see the stream. Actually, live video support is in the room, so maybe they can help.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know why the stream is not showing up. Um, so the output video bitrate is 2300, and video is 1280 by 800 and 20 FPS. All right. So now I'm back to like different settings. Let's see if we can see the stream. No, I still don't.
Yep, voice only.
No, this is ridiculous. Oh, now I see it. Yeah, I see it.
You see it?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It took a
Uh,
few seconds, but it's showing up.
Let me refresh. Maybe I need to refresh.
Um, yeah, I see it. Great. All right, so let's go ahead and get started.
I see it now. I see it now. Perfect.
All right, so after 12 minutes of trouble, let's try and make it smoother. Um,
Okay.
so you wanna give a quick recap on what we've been doing?
Sure. Okay, so I'm gonna just make it short
Yeah,
because
just
I feel
like
like
2 minutes. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, we are building we're still in the work in progress on a feature, photo upload feature. This feature is part of a bigger projects that, for detail of the projects, you can view it at our blogs over here. I will post it in the chat room. But, basically, here, as we can see, we have a drawing of the architecture. Um, you know, we are working on the yesterday we worked on the deployment with Terraform and Docker. So we use Node.js library called Sharp to process our photos. This feature is photo uploading. And we need to compile Sharp in a Linux environment. So, because we all work on Mac, so we need to put in a Docker environment and to compile it. And yesterday we were working to use Terraform to manage our
Yeah,
AWS
just one
resources.
second, Stevens. What I'm gonna try and do is all right. So after taking the live stream suggestion, um, you can continue the yeah. So go ahead and continue the overview.
Sure. Well, I had to refresh the page and watch the ads again. Um, yeah, so where were we? So we were showing the picture of our overall architecture for the photo upload. We use Terraform to manage our AWS cloud resources, such as like a bucket and AWS gateway and Lambda function, etc. And today I think we were going to continue our Docker deployment process to build the Sharp with native extensions, so we can actually compile that and upload it as a Lambda function. Um, Anything you want to add?
Um, no, I think we're good. In terms of the overview. Um, so
Funny thing is, Live ED went dark again. So yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, seriously, man.
don't listen to him.
This is ridiculous. Um, so I'm using 1500 as the beat rate, and I am using um, video 1280 over 800. Yeah, I don't know. I literally like I
we
don't
had This is the
don't
first
know.
time we started with 13 viewers.
Yeah, I don't think it's the schedule. I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's a schedule. Um, So yeah, I definitely see a dark screen. I don't see the.
Me too.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but
He asked you to change it. Why would why like next time when we have it working, don't change anything because the risk is too high.
yeah, it's. I see there's just
Oh, I see it now. I see it now. Okay, let's not touch anything. Okay, dude, this is like
Okay,
golden. This
I
is
see.
golden. Okay, like nobody touch nothing. All right.
Okay, great.
Wow.
All right, so let's not touch anything anymore in the streaming.
Yes.
Um, and let's just go ahead and continue. So yesterday, just to recap, let's split the screen here. Let's see if we have any Docker running. And I don't see any Docker running. So what we did yesterday is create this Docker file, and this Docker file is from Amazon Linux,
Yep.
and we have a setup sh, which is basically just a rip from the Node.js um, open source on GitHub. Um, and then this is basically just installing the RPM sources, and then we do yum install with GCC and make, and then yum install with Node.js, right?
Yep.
And and I mean, that's about it. So we have so again we can do docker build -t. Let's do cancel dev and then lambda builder, and then build it like locally, and then you can see we have everything up and running. um, so
I think we have Node. We verified at the end of the session last night. We have Node running, right?
yeah, we have Node running. After everything here is installed, we do have Node running, and we indeed verified that. So we can, we know Node is running. Let's see
I
what's
see an
happening
error
now
here.
though.
There's a
Yeah,
typo
yeah,
probably.
this is new. Oh yeah, I
Node.js.
see. Yeah, it's Node.js.
Yeah.
And then let's do build here. Um, all right. So, and then if I do Docker images here, so sorry, Docker images, then I have this cancel dev lambda builder, and I can do Docker run cancel dev lambda builder, and then work bash. So here we need it, and then we have node-v, and we have node 6.10.3.
Awesome.
So we do have node here running. So at this point, we can go back to our um, notes here, kind of to-do notes.
Sure.
Um, and what we can see is that where is our Docker here? Okay, so we have Docker build, and then get AWS supported Docker. We have that. So we need to mount the Lambda function as a volume, install the npm package locally inside the Docker, and then tar the files, export the mounted volume, right? So if we try and let's try something here. Draw online. Let's find like an online whiteboard kind of thing. Just 1 second. Online whiteboard. Let's see what we have here. whiteboard. There it is. Okay, so if we kind of try to have um, a sketch of this, so we have our files here, right? So this is the Lambda function, and we mount it into a Docker container, right? So this is our Docker. And then we compile it here. So we have a compile stage. And then once we compile, we output into, again, another mounted directory, which is the output. And we upload that directory to S3. Right? So this is kind of the process that we need to go through, and this is the process that we need to do, right?
So slow down a little bit. So we have a Lambda function. So basically, we want to mount it to the Docker environment, right? The Lambda function is just a file, right?
Yeah, the Lambda function is just the Lambda function is a file with some, I would say setup files like package.json and yarn.
Right, right. So once we compile it, we need to get the file out of the Docker environment. How does that work? Is it gonna like the directory, like when you mount a directory and you make something in that directory, does it stay outside of the Docker environment?
Well, if you mount it, then it's copy on write, so it's gonna be there when you if you output to that directory that you mounted, then the file is gonna be there outside of the Docker.
Okay, so this is actually a pretty important concept, and I feel like I want to understand this. So if I mount a directory to the Docker environment, whatever I do inside of the Docker, it actually writes to that directory in my entire system, right? Like
Yeah,
it
so
would just
we can actually
let's yeah.
we can actually see it, right? So let's create like a quick Docker compose here. So first, let's see if I have Docker compose -v. So it seems like I do have Docker compose. So that's the Docker compose sample file, because I never remember. I never remember the reference to those files. Not that one.
What do you use
This one.
Docker Compose for?
Well, it's just easier way to just 1 second. So let's do this. So version, here it is. So version 3 services, and we have volumes. So volumes here. Okay. Just 1 second. Right, so there it is. Great. So let's take this, right? And let's create a Docker compose file. So Docker compose.yaml. Right, and we have that here. So we are on version 2 services. Let's do I don't know, let's call it Lambda, right? And we build the current one. We don't need ports and volumes. Let's say we mount let's do mount tmp in the current directory to slash build. I don't know, something like that. All right.
Sorry, I still don't get what.
One second. All right. So now here, Docker file. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna run make-dir-p of build, and we are going to volume this build. And then I can do Docker compose build. All right, so it's gonna build Lambda. Let's see what we have here. This should be fast, actually. I don't know why is it so slow. We should have this in cache, but anyway. All right, so you know what? Let's do it better. So let's do docker build cancel dev dash t cancel dev lambda builder, and here. All right, so yum, great. And now docker run dash v, and let's mount tmp to build, and it cancel dev lambda builder, and bean bash. Unable to find image. It's lambda builder. Response from daemon. Create tmp. Make dir dash p tmp. So let's see if we have it here. TMP includes invalid characters for a local volume. So let's try this. Response from daemon. Create. Why should it create TMP? Let's try this. Touch something.
He didn't mount the.
Let's see if we have it here. No, it doesn't seem like it mounted it.
It didn't mount it.
So let's try this.
Maybe it's just /tmp?
From local volume only. Oh, it's
just /.
No. It's just 1 second. This is why I like Docker Compose. Just a sec. Docker attach volume. This is why I like the Docker Compose syntax better. Dash v. Oh, I see. So let's do dash v src web app to web app. Yeah, so that's what I want. Docker. Yeah, this is what seems like it is. So let's do pwd tmp.
Oh yeah, okay, that's looks like it.
Yeah, but this is
your
not
TMP.
Yeah, this is my real TMP.
Yeah, so if you make something here, is it gonna go to the TMP?
Yeah, but that's not what I want. I want the local TMP. So this should be pwd here. cd build. All right, and then touch something. TMP, we have something.
Oh, all right.
Right?
That's interesting. So whatever you do inside of there, you actually
as long as it's mounted, whatever you write inside of the Docker is going to be written to the outside. Yes, of course.
That's pretty interesting. All right.
Of course.
All right, we can go ahead. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, no problem. So now what we can do is we can, so let's do Lambda here. Let's remove everything from Lambda node modules because we don't want them here. And let's see what we have here. Right, so we have the index. I'm sorry. Excuse me. So we have the index.js, the package.json, and yarn.lock. Right? And if we look into package.json, we can see we have sharp here. And we have AWS SDK. Right?
Uh-huh.
Great. So what we can do here is we can run with, instead of mounting TMP, we can mount um, Lambda here, right? And then we can do one change to our Lambda file here. Sorry, to our Docker file. And volume build, and then we can also do workdir as build.
Uh-huh.
And let's do Docker build here again. Great. And now we can do Docker run, and instead of mounting TMP, we're going to mount Lambda. What's going on? Lambda. And pwd Lambda, and then build. Oh, that's okay. Great. That's what I want. And then instead of doing bin bash, what we are going to do is we're going to npm install, or yeah, you know what? We can do npm install, right?
Well, why don't we bin bash in there and do npm install inside?
Well, we can do this. It's the same thing.
But then here, after the install, it will exit the.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I want to show it step by step, right? So if I go now to the Lambda folder, then you'll see that it's gonna have node modules, and it is, right? There it is. So node modules, and these are now Amazon Linux compiled node modules.
Oh, so basically, when you do docker run -v, and then you mount pwd is what current.
PWD is the current working directory.
Current working directory Lambda, and then you mount it to /build. /build is something inside of the
Docker. Inside of the Docker. And then what you see here is in the Docker file.
Yeah, I don't get this last line here. Like, explain what you mean when you did like this volume /build.
Well, volume just declares that this is a volume that can be mounted. And then workdir says that when I don't have a path, then the default path is inside build. So when I run npm install, it will run npm install inside build.
Got it.
Right. So now look, now it's installing sharp, right? And you can see it's installing like a rebuild. So it's installing an native extension and everything like that, right?
Okay. So basically, the node module being installed here are based on the assumption that the environment it's a Linux.
Yeah.
Because it's running inside of a Linux. So when the Linux pings the node servers, it's like, okay, I'm Linux, so give me.
Well, no, it's not about the Linux. It's about the build. It's not about the give me this or give me that. It's about the make process, the build process.
The build process, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then how do we know that, because Sharp requires like native extension, right? How do we know that inside the Linux box, those native extension already exist?
Well, if they don't, we're going to get an error, and then we're going to need to install them before we do that.
So I would be surprised if we don't get an error, because, I mean...
No, we're not going to get an error.
So you think those native extension came with Amazon Linux?
Yeah.
That's a bit weird.
All right. So in the meantime, what I want to have is a couple of things here. So if we go here, what I want to do is create a Lambda here. And then here I want to create a file called build.sh. Right? And here in build.sh, I want to have a couple of things here. here. So this is something I copied from another one of my Lambda projects. So let's call this image resizer, and then zip. So where is it? So date and then zip function dot zip. Releases. Great. And then okay, so this is what I want. Another couple of things here. All right.
What is okay? This is build.sh.
Yeah. So we have, you see, we have releases, and then we're gonna have inside the release, we're gonna have a dated, a dated directory name. So here we're gonna do chmod plus x of this, and here in the Docker file, we are going to. Oh, we don't actually need to do it because we're mounting the entire thing. But now instead of doing npm install, we can do build.sh. Let's see. So like this. Exec format error. So maybe we need sh build sh. Oh, so we don't have zip. So we need to install zip. So let's go back to our Docker file here and do run yum -y yum install -y zip. So docker build. And we're going to install zip. People in the chat room, feel free to, ask questions and get involved.
How many people are on Twitch?
No, I don't see it on Twitch. Let's see. We have about 5.
Okay.
All right, so let's do this. So we have zip installed, so we can go back and run with sh build. Name not matched main.js. So let's see what we have here. Main.js, I don't have it, so it's index.js. So we can do this and then do the run again.
Move function.zip release directory equals to releases dash d is date plus. Ooh.
All right, so this is compiling. And someone on Twitch asked, why not use tar.gz gz instead of installing zip? So the answer for that is that I know for a fact that when you upload a zip file to the S3 bucket, then Lambda will automatically get updated. I just haven't tested it with a tar.gz. That's why I just keep going with the zip file, because I know that that's what's supported. Yeah, that's the reason.
What do you mean automatically updated? Like,
so the thing is, yeah. Once you say that the function source lives in this bucket on S3, and you upload a new file to that directory, then it's gonna automatically update the function.
So it's gonna automatically unzip the file and then put the Lambda function to where it belongs.
Yeah.
So the actual unzipped version of the Lambda file, where does it live if it doesn't live in S3? Like where does it go? It go to the Lambda, right? I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the S3 is a storage for the zip file only.
Well, S. So there, there's a couple of things here with the S3. Um, it's easy. It's easy to confuse, but one is S3 is
Hello?
yeah,
Hello?
yeah, yeah. You got disconnected.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Your voice was breaking up.
yeah. It's probably your internet.
My internet is 180 megabytes of download speed.
Yeah, my internet is here as well. Um, okay, so let's see. We're still compiling here. Well, we're not compiling. We are compressing. Um, and
So this I'm still trying to understand. So this build.sh, this is zipping the compiled version,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Just so we'll get a sense. So let's do lambda here, and then releases. You see, we have release 19, 05, 19, 17, 04. So let's do. Excuse me. So let's go to lambda releases. So 944. So that's the newest one. So let's do this, and you see function.zip, and it's 25 megabytes, right? So this is the sad situation with the current state of Node.js code, I guess. But
That's huge.
yeah, it's incredible.
It's gigantic.
It's gigantic. Um,
Why is it that big?
well, let's not let's not go there.
But this is a zip file. Like the zip file is 25 megabytes.
Yeah, the zip file is 25 megabytes,
So
and
if it's
our
unzipped,
function code, just so people remember, is this. So this is our entire function.
oh, it's because of sharp.
Yeah, it's probably Sharp and then AWS SDK, and so on. All right. So now we have a built function. Did we create the Lambda function, by the way, with Terraform?
No, not that I remember. No,
Um,
we don't have a working version.
no, but
We only have the Mac version. No, we didn't even create the Lambda resource on AWS.
all right. So let's go ahead and do that. Creative Network Creative Network Terraform. And let me export my AWS authentication here, AWS Env here. And let's go here. And then let's see what we have here. So we have the bucket. So here, this one we don't actually need. I'm going to do it in a different way. And then here, we're going to have a resource. I wonder if I can have a Lambda function without a role right now. Just to avoid the boilerplate. Let me try. Let me try to create a Lambda function without a role, because I just want to show you the way for updating that. So let's see, assume role policy. We have, yeah, it doesn't seem like it. So role is IAM role for lambda. Lambda. All right, so we can actually. So source code hash. I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want that like this. So another way, instead of having a source code hash, so let's see, source code hash, there is another way of providing a source code. Yeah, so it's S3 key and S3 object version. So the S3 key of an object containing the function deployment package conflicts with file name. So the path to the function deployment package within the local file system. Yep. So there is not an easy way to create you know what? Let me try and do that without any of these. So let me try and do this here. And then IAM for lambda, and then we'll have function name is going to be image resizer. We're not going to have a file name. We're not going to have a source code hash. And it's going to be Node.js 6.10. And it's going to be index.handler.
Why do you need a role?
It's just a default boilerplate with Amazon. So let's see Terraform plan here. All right, so now we have, we're going to remove the bucket and we're going to create the Lambda. So let's apply that. Let's try to have that. So it's going to try and remove the bucket, which, is easy. It's going to remove it. Yeah, so so it's either a file name or S3. So that's a problem. So let's see what we have here.
I don't understand. What is it complaining?
Well, we don't have a file name.
Oh, it needs the actual Lambda file?
Yeah, but I don't want to put it here.
Because you want to upload the zip file.
Yeah. You know what I can do, though? What I can do, though, is do something hacky here and just have, let me do that. So let me do that. So let's have index.js here. And what I'm going to do is here in Terraform, let me do this. So cd and make dir-p empty. Cd empty vim index.js. And then I'm going to paste this in. I don't need AWS. I don't need Sharp. I don't need any of this. And
delete everything.
Just 1 second. So where is the local? All right. So I'm gonna remove this. Okay.
Cool.
And then it's gonna be callback, null, and hello from Lambda. Right? And then we are going to zip function empty function.zip index.js, and we have empty function.zip, and we're going to move empty function.zip to creative creative network Terraform here, and then here we are going to have the file name here and the source code hash here, and lambda function payload replace with empty function, right? So now we can apply Terraform. All right.
Okay.
So this is going to create the lambda function, as you can see, but it's empty. Right? So it created it now.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have a function name called image resizer.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So
which is empty function. Okay.
Yeah, it's an empty function. So let's go ahead and look at it in the console. Here. Right. And what do we have here? So let's look at lambda. So we have image resizer. And you can see the source code. This is the source code that we've done. Everything here looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now what we can do here is, let's see, ls here, cd lambda, ls cd releases, and then cd to this one. And then we have function.zip, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can have AWS Lambda update function code dash region US West 2 dash profile avi dash function name is image
What are you doing here?
resizer. You see I'm calling AWS Lambda dash zip file function.zip. All right?
So
Oh,
I
it
don't
should
get
be what?
I don't get what this is doing.
Just read the read the line.
Yeah, AWS Lambda, like update function code. Oh, so you're updating the function code
Yeah.
so you're updating so you're replacing the empty function with the one that we actually compile.
Yeah. You see? So now it's thinking. And what it does, it basically uploads the code. So uploads the zip function.
And it will also unzip it.
Well, they take care of it. But you update it with a zip file.
So the zip file, basically, it doesn't even need to go to a S3 bucket. It just goes directly to the Lambda. Am I right or no?
So you see, it updated everything. And now that I refresh things here, you see, now it's a zip file and we don't see the source code anymore. Right, so if you go here to the function, you see 24.3 megabytes, updated 26 seconds ago, and we have an image resizer.
Right. Okay. So if you click on that, what would happen?
Well, click on what?
Code.
Well, we don't have code here anymore because it's too big to show it, so they don't show it.
Right. What I mean is we actually don't need S3 in this process, correct?
Yeah, that's what I did. That's why I removed it from the Terraform thing.
All right, cool.
Um, all right. So now,
How do
uh,
we know if this works or not?
well, we already know it worked because we tested that code. Remember
Not
that
on not
with
on AWS.
yes, we did on AWS. Oh, you mean so we tested on AWS, but with the local code. That's what you mean?
Yeah. Like, how do we know this compiled version actually works on AWS?
Um, so we can definitely test it. Um, right now we have a bit of hard coded things here that
Yeah.
that will not work. One of them is here in the index.js. We have this. So S3 is you see like AWS access key, and this will not work on S3 because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And we don't have the role. So we actually know for a fact that it's not working right now.
Okay. Yeah.
So first we need to remove this part and just instantiate it like so. The second thing is to make sure we return here with the callback. Right now, I don't think we have the callback. Right, so the function is always going to time out and just bill us a lot of money. So we still need to fix those things. But we made progress here. All right, so we did this and we did this, and we actually did another thing, which is upload the released function code to the function using AWS CLI. Right, so we did this as well. All right, so so we did this. Now would be a good time to commit this code.
Yep.
All right, so let's do this.
What does EOF mean?
This is just you see EOF starts here and EOF starts here. It's just a way to have a literal and have a way to have a multi-line string. Git add main and dash p. So we'll have this. Great. And then empty function JS, git commit, empty function, and removing the S3 bucket for function code. Origin master. And just so people in the chat room are connected, we have the source code online. Everything is open source. Awesome. So we did this with Terraform. We have the function, and let's see. So here, let's add git ignore here. So lambda and releases. So we don't want that here. So let's do lambda dash p. So remove this, remove this. And then let's see what we have here in the Docker file. So we added those. This all seems good. We can remove Docker Compose because we haven't used it. We can remove TMP here. What else? Lambda build and no, git add lambda build. don't need the empty, so we can remove this. And we can add git ignore. Process to build the image natively, the function natively inside Docker. Git push. And this is also open source, so we can link that in the chat room as well. All right, so I think that's good for us for today.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the rest of the things, if we dive into them, it's just gonna take a long time, and it's already kind of late. So just to sum up, the success came from finally figuring out the bitrate output and the video FPS and all of that. So finally we have a setting we can trust.
Let's just not change that for the near
well,
term.
I haven't changed it last time as well. So let's keep not changing it, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is a good time to open it up for people in the chat room. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. Or Stevens, if you have questions, then feel free to ask them as well.
No, I think the doc, the part where we use Docker to compile it and the volume mounting, that was a pretty interesting. That was one of the best part in today's session, right? Like, basically being able to mount any local directory. So essentially, now I think about it, like, I'm able to use any development environment on any of my local directory,
Of
right?
course.
I just need to mount it.
Yeah, of course. That's the whole idea, right?
Right. And the mounting, and now I realize how powerful the mounting can be, because it kind of remove the hustle of like just moving the files around, right? It's like you literally just have a connection between the Docker environment and my local directory, which is just awesome.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? That's the idea. The idea is that let's go here to the Docker file here for a second. The idea is that you don't really need to copy anything from the outside into the inside, unless this Docker needs to ship with those files.
Right.
If you want to use Docker for a development environment, then what you would want to do is to just mount it and then have Docker run, install all the dependencies you want, run the parts you want to run without installing them locally, but still work on your local source code. So you can work on your local source code with any editor you want. You don't need to SSH into the Docker and work inside the Docker. You can have that kind of sync together. I think that's the real power with Docker as a development tool, not only as a deployment tool.
Oh, you mean like I can be modifying my local code with my local editor, while the Docker can build in the Docker environment, basically.
Yeah, and also, I mean, if you have a Rails code or a JavaScript code or anything like that that doesn't compile,
Right.
then what you can do is, and given that the server inside the Docker is working in development mode, so it's always kind of grabbing the changes, then yeah, you can just work with a mounted volume and then forget about it.
Yeah. Wow. That's very powerful. Yeah.
All right. So see you next week.
Oh, you know what? Like,
yeah, go.
do you have like 10 or 15 minutes?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Since we're on Docker, right? Remember I had a long running question about like I don't know if you think this is enough time to kind of
Well, we can
do that.
try. I don't know.
Yeah, like how do you call your local database from a Docker environment? That's something I asked you a long time ago, and I know like you proposed like using nrock, but I was still like stuck on it. I don't know
Well,
if you can.
again, it depends. One option is definitely to use ngrok, and the second is to use the Docker network.
I
So
think the nrock was a better option, but I couldn't. I just couldn't get it working. I mean, honestly,
I don't
because
really have a database installed here, so I can
um
work on it. But um, I mean, I don't know what's the easiest way to try that.
like for example, I think the place where I got stuck is when you run nrock, right? You need to kind of define like a port.
Yeah.
Like what do you do? Like nrock,
Let's see if I have
HTTP, something
MySQL.
something, right? Yeah, like so MySQL. Like first of all, what do you do, right? There's TCP, there's HTTP, and the MySQL port. And I couldn't even get nrock running on the MySQL port because I think MySQL has a default port of something like I don't know. I'm gonna Google it. A 3306, right? For example, MySQL, I think the default port is 3306. But then how do you get nrock to even connect to that port? Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean. So let's try this. So ngrok, TCP, and 3306.
Gonna get an error.
No, I'm
Oh,
not gonna
really?
get an error.
You don't?
All right. So, this is actually not a good idea to do it on the screen. And let me try that. All right. So ngrok, TCP 3306.
I actually get an error for me, so I don't even know why.
I think in order to work with non-HTTP ngrok,
Uh-huh.
you need to pay. But I'm not 100% on that.
Oh. Oh, is that why?
Well, it
Price?
might be. So let's first download the latest ngrok. Just 1 second here.
Oh, TCP addresses. It maybe that's why. Do you have a pro plan?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's why. That's probably why. The free plan probably does not
Well,
support
I think
TCP.
it's one time. Let's see, TCP, ngrok, TCP. So it doesn't seem like it's a paid one, but I don't know. Yeah, so ngrok TCP 3306. So yeah, I definitely have TCP, and then I can have it in a port. Um, so let's try to
But if you don't,
do
if you
something.
don't,
MySQL client install yum. Let's see here, MySQL client. So let's try to do that. All right. I don't know how I will do that without exposing the ngrok address, though. Let's see here. All right, so let's do run here. Here, run yum install -y MySQL. Docker. No, it's creative network lambda. And then Docker build.
Is is the NROS solution supposed to be easier than using the Docker connection, Docker bridge?
Well, to me, it's all the same. I mean, as long as you know the address of the Docker bridge, it's just about either you write the address of the Docker bridge or you write the address of the ngrok. You know what I mean? It's just literally the same.
But I thought Docker bridge doesn't work on Mac.
Well, we need to test that. You know, you need to check that. There is no such really thing about not working. It's all a matter of how many hops you need to make in order for that to happen.
All right, I like that. I like that mentality.
Um, all right, so now we have this, and let's do Docker run. Docker run. Instead of running the build, let's run bean bash. So let's see if we have MySQL here. All right, so MySQL. So now we can actually see what we have here. We don't have ifconfig, but what we can do is docker ps and then docker inspect. What is it? D1b. Why doesn't it give me auto completion? Docker inspect b here. All right, so we have an IP address here. So 170. This one should be the one that's going to my computer.
Which one? Gateway?
172.17.02.
Okay. But so I'm okay. Oh, IP address. Okay.
Or this one. So one of these. I'm not 100%, but let's try both. So MySQL dash help. I think it's that's too much. So MySQL was it dash host. So let's have this as a host. Dash u root. All right, so let's try 2. Can't connect. All right, so let's see what the networking setup is here. What is the networking setup? Let me. There is Docker inspect. 1 second. I want to see what is the Ethernet 0 of the Docker. Docker inspect network. I never remember the correct command, so let's see here. Docker network inspect. So this be no such network. Docker network. Docker network list ls. All right, so you see this host, local, and then there's a bridge. So we can do this, Docker network inspect this. And what does this tell us? So we have a host, we have it here. All right, so that's not the one. And what is this one? Scope local. And what is this one? So Docker network inspect. Whoops, what happened? Where am I? Okay, inspect this. Okay, so what do we have here? So this going to 172.17.01 and then 17.02. So these, we've tried both of these. One thing that I would want is to curl those. Connection refused. All right. So, without going too deep into this, what we can try is to run it with the ngrok.
Okay.
Now, let me think how. You know what? Let me grab another container here. Just 1 second.
Do you have the nrod running the TCP?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. So MySQL. I just want to see how I connect to the port. Dash port. All right. So I have dash port.
What are you doing here?
Well, I'm typing outside the screen to not expose my host.
Okay.
And it seems like it can't find. No, it seems like it can't find the TCP connection with ngrok.
It's okay if it's taking too long. We can do it another day. It's not really urgent. So you're saying nrod cannot see that port?
Yeah, just 1 second.
That's what I. Yeah, that's one of the issues I ran into.
So TCP ngrok and port is let's see here. Seems like it can't connect to TCP.
nrod?
Yeah, I'm like trying to connect to TCP. Let me try something else here for 1 second.
Yeah, it seems like it works with HTTP just fine, but I just don't know how to work with TCP on nrod.
Yeah, MySQL client, SQL Pro is not able to do it as well. Let me try something else here.
How does MySQL connect with the remote server? It's definitely not HTTP, right? Is it?
No, it's TCP.
It's TCP?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So why can't it connect with the nrod?
No, I think it's because I'm also not seeing like the ngrok panel updating with a different connection. So it seems like the ngrok TCP tunnel is not really working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like although it's running, but it seems like the tunnel is actually not open.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Because I'm not seeing any connection coming in. Actually, yeah, I made it work. Yeah,
How but how
it seems like one tunnel is not working. Um,
how are you testing it? How are you pinning this nrock endpoint?
four,
Like,
six,
what are you
eight.
doing off the screen?
Just 1 second. Dash user. All right. So here it is.
Well,
This is connecting to my MySQL.
I can't really see what you're doing right.
Well, what do you mean? Oh, yeah. You need to look at like the screen, not on the SSH.
Okay, so exit. What did you do again?
You see, I
Oh,
have
so
MySQL here.
you made it working.
Yeah.
So you use the nrock host and
Yeah.
then you do nrock TCP, like it give you address, and then you do MySQL with that address, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, I think I got the general idea. I know you can't really show the actual address, otherwise people will hack. But
Well, what I'm saying is, let me close the tunnel here, and what I can show you, right, is what I've done is simple, right? What I've done is MySQL dash dash host, and then it's always the same host, so it's tcp.ngrok.io, and then dash dash port, and they give you this long port. So let's say it's 11111, right?
okay.
And then dash u and your user, and that's it. And if you have a password, then you do dash p and the password. That's it. And it
Can you
just
please
worked.
can you please Slack me this command?
Yeah.
I want to play with it.
Yes, of course.
Well, first of all, I need to get TCP working.
Yeah, I mean mine. It seems like it's not really stable because the first one wasn't working for me, and only the second one worked.
And then in nrock, you simply did TCP, nrock TCP 3306.
Yeah, 3306. That's it.
All right. Okay, Slack me that MySQL command.
I will. All right. So name Docker file. We can remove this from the Docker file, and that's it. Let's see what we have here. This is good. This is good. Great.
All right.
All
That's
right.
it.
So awesome. So see you next week.
Yep. Thank you. You still need to Slack me that.